The overlying theme of our class is earth dwelling, and we were asked to all focus and master a specific skill of our choice to help further our understanding of this topic. To make things interesting, I wanted to select a unique skill that has very little relevance in today's society, but was pivotal to our survivalship before the modernized world: skinning animals, an essential task to gather meat.
Life is easy. Everyday life is easy. You can go down to Comeback Shack and grab a burger. 150 years ago, like, people pushed out west and settled this country. Like, you know, you had to hunt, and provide for your.
Important parts of skinning is having the right knife. This here is an old timer sharp finger that I purchased from Walmart for about $20. It's great for skinning because its small shape really lets you get a nice grip on it, and gives you the accuracy and precision that you need when skinning a small game animal. And one of the better qualities of this knife is that it's very sharp, and that really lets you get right underneath the skin without penetrating the inner organs of the squirrel.
Make sure you do have the proper tool for it.
Mhm.
Like an actual fillet or skinning knife. Is really the way the blades are shaped and the way they're weighted make a big difference versus just using like a pocket knife that's sharp,
Yeah.
which you can do.
Way to practice skinning is on meat, such as this ham. Even though it's not exactly what a squirrel would be like, it really helps you practice on knife precision and accuracy and knife safety. Skin a small game animal such as a squirrel is to case skin it. By case skinning, you create a flap of skin just underneath the tail that you can peel off so that you can take all of the skin off in one piece. To simulate case skinning a squirrel, I'm going to pretend that this is the butt of a squirrel and that its tail would be just around here, and I'm going to make an incision just around this area so that I can then peel the skin off.
When you're trying to, the kind of offal, like the innards, that one of the hardest parts is like getting around the anus and making sure you don't like nick the lower intestines, and you get like, you don't want to contaminate the meat with like urine and feces. So just take it slow, enjoy it.
What I've created here is a flap in the skin just above the anus, which would be around here, and the two legs here and here. And what you do with this flap is you peel it back and you take the bottom of your shoe and step on it, and then pull the rest of the body out of its own skin. And that's pretty much all it takes to skin a squirrel. For this project, I decided that in order to gain the full experience, I would kill a squirrel and skin it myself. Something that you have to realize is that many Americans turn a blind eye to the fact that you are taking the life of a harmless creature for the sake of your own survival, sometimes even pleasure, which most of us take for granted. Even though this isn't the squirrel I used, this is the trap I used to catch and then peacefully drown the one I eventually caught.
I mean, you put it all into perspective, and you're learning a skill to survive, and as long as you use the animal graciously. I'm in the military. I'm pretty conservative, but I'm also fairly liberal on a lot of things, and so I believe in the humane treatment of animals.
Due to convenience of being at home for Easter break, this was my one chance to skin a squirrel. Since I did this before the majority of my practice and purchase of a skinning knife, I was limited to using less effective knives. Because of the setback, I was not able to make the correct incision and failed to create the proper flap, which made pulling the squirrel out of its hide nearly impossible. However, I still successfully harvested a decent amount of muscle tissue.
Odds of you being in a situation where you're gonna have to kill and procure animals probably slim, but having that skill set is definitely a confidence booster. It's like adding tools into a toolbox.
Even though it is very unlikely that I'll end up in a situation where I will need to use this skill in order to survive, after going through many of the steps involved, it has definitely taken a personal toll on my life. Having never killed an animal before, it was quite appalling discovering how it feels to take the life of an innocent animal for my own gain. Doing it myself helped me come to the realization that this process has been used for all of the meat I have ever eaten and will continue to eat, and I must take into consideration how lucky we all are to have an endless supply of meat at almost no cost, except for guilt.